as dumb as it is, normally if I just hear something that is like genuinely horrid, I will laugh because it's more like there's nothing you can like. If you hear about it, like some horrid shit happening to someone, it's so ridiculous to me that I'm just like, there's no other thing I can do right now other than laugh.
Yeah.
I think the other option
It's
would
not
be
like
cry,
a defense
and I'm a man, so I
mechanism,
don't
but
cry.
it's like what's the word? It's like an awkward response.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's. Oh, dude, did I ever tell you about what happened? I once joined our friend in a university lecture. Okay, he had I think a marine bio lecture or something, and so I just went along because I had a free period and I want to hang out, chill, see what it was all about. Boy, did I choose the wrong fucking lecture to join.
Was this the mermaid person?
No, that was my archaeology course.
Okay.
But so this marine bio lecture, it's like halfway through the year, right? It starts and someone who is not their lecturer comes in and says, "So guys, sorry to say, this lecturer so-and-so has unfortunately passed away from her battle with cancer." And Hushav, that is genuinely, that's such a hard thing. They all loved this lecturer, and I imagine her family was, heartbroken by it. I proceeded to giggle.
Audibly giggle, like people turn.
Hushav, the people around me all looked at me. And then, because I started giggling, obviously the friend who you know well was also like, Bjorn, what the It's just, so like the absurdity that I'm like, oh, sick. I'm going to go check out this marine biology lecture.
I'm going to learn so much about marine biology.
And then in the first thing that happens is like, yeah, sorry, this person died. So my response was just like, this is crazy.
So this class is a riot.
Dude, it's so bad. Adventures at university with Bjorn.
Oh,
Truly,
God.
University is a place that opens your brain, but also good God, are they weird human beings there? Well, myself being one of the weird human beings.
We all made it through. Where were we? Dr. Disrespect, yeah. So Slasher and Rolling Stones actually put out an article detailing exactly what happened that had Twitch ban him. So yeah, it was in the Twitch Whispers, which is the direct DM, and Dr. Disrespect was like aware that this was a minor, so it wasn't like a thing where it's like, oh, I didn't know their age. No, he like knew, and he continued on. And how hard is it not to text a minor?
Dude, it's the meme of the guy stabbing his brow and it's like, text minor, not text minor.
Why? I mean, why are celebrities like this, man? It's so easy to just not text a minor. I do it every day.
Sorry, I would love to cut that up to be like, it's so easy to text a minor. I do it every day.
But it's like, it's so hard. It's like, there's people of age you can go after. You don't need to text.
Look, as gross as it can be for someone in their like 40s to try and actively pursue a relationship with someone that's 18 because they're 18, whatever. But genuinely, like, it's not that tough just to be like, like, what?
my nephew got a phone for the first time. He texted me, "Hey, Uncle Shaw, this is my number." I haven't replied to him because I don't text minors. That little bro has to wait 17 more years.
I'm sorry, is he one?
Yeah, that's how good he is.
I'm sorry, this hypothetical child is 1 year old with a phone, knows how to text.
Yep.
Dude, you're from a family of
Indians tech support.
I was... Wait, I'm not allowed to say that. Wait.
Do you know they are curing me? No, leave me alone.
Do you know, I've been watching a lot of Akaash sing at the moment.
Yeah.
Because so many of his most famous, especially short form stuff that he posts on YouTube or whatever, tends to be his live shows where he makes fun of different like sects of Indian people.
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh, Gujarati's always late. And then it'll show like two Gujarati dudes showing up an hour late to his show. And he's like, fucking knew it. And like he has the perfect amount of Indian racism in him.
Yeah.
It's so solid. Oh my goodness. But as I said before we started rolling, I need to stop watching because I feel like I'm just going to roll up somewhere and be like, oh, how's it? Oh, classic Gujaratis, dude.
But imagine like you come to one of my family events and like we're not Gujaratis. You just like walk in just awkwardly and you're just like, Gujaratis, am I right? They're all like, yeah.
I'm ingratiating into their culture.
Is that Dr. Disrespect? No, we gotta move on. Speaking of PDF files, Mushoku Tensei is done for the season.
Sorry, I thought you were gonna be like, we're gonna talk about anime today.
Well, we are.
Sorry, can I just talk about my struggles at the moment?
Yeah, go for it.
So at the moment, I am slowly but surely upgrading my desk setup, right? I built myself a desk. That felt cool. It's a bit shitty around the edges, but fine, whatever. I'm now looking to get some extra stuff. Like, I don't have a PC. I have a pretty beefy laptop, as if you're watching on YouTube, you can see over here. But I want to
processor.
I want to use it as like a computer where essentially you can get these little stands where you fold your laptop closed and you put it in, and then it just acts as like your tower essentially. And then having a screen, like a raised little part, like really nice, minimalistic, but like super stylish. I've been looking my ass off to find a fucking mouse pad that doesn't just have like, because you have like two branches, right? You have the super gamer anime side, which is always RGB, crazy branding, like dragons, anime girls with big boobs. Speaking of PDF files. Or you have the other side where it's like lots of flowers and pastel colors. And I genuinely, I'm struggling so much to find a plain black mouse pad that is 90 centimeters by 30 centimeters. It is so tough.
And this one you probably need to go like get it custom made.
No, that's the standard size. It's either 90 by 40.
No, I mean to get just a black color in.
Which is crazy to me. It's crazy that no one's like, oh yeah, of course we have the most standard of colors available to you. It's just, so frustrating. But that's what I wanted to mention, that if you go to a lot of stores, they'll have like Nezuko with her boobs being like the rest.
Yeah, you got it for me for my birthday 2 years ago.
Sorry, I forgot. I do purchase these things. But yeah, so I don't particularly want an incredibly I guess, how do I say this? Like,
you just want something simple.
I want something simple.
Yeah.
I do not want a group of anime women on my desk keeping me company as I like code or as I like draw stuff. I really don't need that in my life. So
start turning into like Zenitsu with like all your little anime girls there.
So frustrating.
So, anime. We're at the end of another season, and we've actually timed this one correctly, where it will go up as the new season is starting.
Wow.
And the old season is ending.
Depending on how long I take in the edit.
I back you.
I don't. That was your first mistake.
Because this week and this next week, what season are we in?
Leaving spring.
Yeah, we're leaving
going
spring.
into summer.
So yeah, so it's all wrapping up this week. And next week, or the following week. No, when this comes out, it will be the next week. Will be the start of the next season. Yeah,
pretty much. There's already, I think, been 1 or 2 episodes of the new season.
Yeah,
but
we'll talk about that later.
Before we get into those, we got to talk about this past season.
Yeah.
Okay, so
let's first go overall thoughts from this past season.
If I were to rank the entire season of anime, I would put it mid. Genuinely.
I put it at a solid like 7.7, I think. 7.5, 7.7, like
I put that. Okay, so with 5 being something is watchable. So, so it depends on how we rank this, right? Because if 1 is like unbearable heap of mess, 5 to me is just like, it's a watchable season. 7.5 would then be the mid of like the acceptable part. So that's what I'm saying. So like around a 7.5. There were a couple shows that were solid. Nothing that blew me away, but I also didn't watch Konosuba, so I don't know, which is one of the big shows of the past season.
There were a few new shows that I had high hopes for. One, I think, very much lived up to it and succeeded a little, and another one was just ended up being kind of mid. And then there were quite a few surprises in there that I really hope that they're going to get season 2s for. Some wholesome stuff in there from the new ones I'm talking.
Wait, so break it down then. Of the new shows that you watched, which ones were you disappointed by, and which ones did you enjoy?
Okay, so I think let's go disappointed. I'd say Windbreakers.
Okay. I also eventually dropped this one, and I
saw it through to the end, and I'll give season 2 a chance. Because just like I'm also off that thinking, sometimes it needs a bit of time. You can't always have everything in like a 12 episode cycle.
If you didn't watch it, right? So it's called Windbreaker or Bofurin, I think, is the name of the Japanese name. Basically, it is a suburb or a town where there is a school that only delinquents go to, but they're like honorable delinquents that protect the town and help people out, that kind of stuff. And it follows our main character who comes into the town from outside hoping to be the strongest guy at the school before realizing it's actually like a brotherhood and everyone takes care of each other, that kind of thing. And it's all their adventures and fighting and whatever.
It's about him learning to accept the help of others and realizing that he's not alone.
Yeah, because he's gone through life with people shunning him and
because he has
like
crazy hair, 2 different colored eyes. So he looks
Othello-kun, as that one guy from Shishitorin called him.
Yeah.
My main issue with the show was that it was like I felt like they kept trying to shove too much emotional drama stuff down my throat at every corner when I haven't had a chance to like actually care about the characters yet. If they'd spent the first half of the season maybe doing a bit more of character building, more relationship building, that kind of stuff, and then proceeded to do like emotional stuff, then I think I would have cared more and think it was better. But the fact that like pretty much off the bat they're like super emotional, super it was too much too quickly for me. I think that was my major problem.
Okay, so one of the things that I really enjoyed about Windbreakers was the fight scenes. I think that they are absolutely exquisite, especially midway through the season when they go up against a rival school and they're doing a bunch of one-on-one battles.
Yeah.
Everybody, like, there's so many people who have like different styles and way of fighting, and the way they're animated and the weight behind the punches, or how somebody dodges out the way.
Also, Windbreaker is from Cloverworks, so you're
gonna get some good fighting scenes in it. So I think those, if you were to just watch it for the fighting scenes, sure, you'd be like completely happy with that. But similar thoughts to what you were going on about your disappointment. But I think for me, it's like I don't care about any of the characters.
Right.
And also like the main character, his not desire, but his ambition was to be the top of the school. And then he comes in and he realizes it's not like that. And he doesn't really have like what's pushing him. What's like, he's not trying to be like the next Hokage or like the Wizard King or like whatever. Like, I don't understand what his now motivations are for the story, like why I should care about him, become invested in him as a main character. Like I'm more care about finding out about the guy who's actually at the top of the school. Like I'd much rather watch like a prequel series about him and how he came into the school and changed it.
Because he's the one that actually turned it into this brotherhood and this like school of caretaking and
where
bonds
it was
between
before
each other.
Just like fight each other till you're the top person.
So also I think I got to like episode 9 or 10 of the show. I might still go back and watch the last 2 episodes, but like it was a bit disappointing story wise.
I did watch it to completion, and I will give season 2. Well, season 2 has been confirmed. Let's just put that out there.
Okay.
So I will check out season 2 when it comes out.
Okay, and then the other show, like you said, one other show was either disappointment, or was there one that you really liked of the new shows?
Okay, one that I was very excited for and then exceeded those expectations. Which I did talk about in our look ahead from the previous episode. Go check that out. Was Kaiju number 8.
Okay. So I liked Kaiju number 8. I think there's this weird comparison I've been drawing. Do you watch Bleach, eh?
Yeah.
So in Bleach, when they start playing that, if you want to see some action.
Yeah.
So when that starts playing.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with Kaiju number 8, where they have like row, 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 row. Like that starts playing, and I think it has the same effect on my body. So I think I really enjoyed a lot of Kaiju number 8. I think because the season's not done. Is it a 24 episode season?
No.
Is it done? The
So
last episode's coming today.
Last episode coming out today.
Okay, so I think in terms of, I think it's maybe like a 7 to a 7.5 for me. I don't think it is as amazing as I was hoping it would be, but I think that might be because of it felt maybe a bit rushed. Obviously spoilers, but up to this point we know that they've found out his secret, which is, I don't know if I like it or I don't like it. Where normally a show, they will keep building on that secret until it comes out naturally.
But I think that secret is just one of those secrets where you can't push it so like too far. You can't like hide something like that for that long. So I think they had the correct amount of time before the reveal.
Okay. I'm in two minds about it. I'll see how like future seasons handle it. But I did enjoy a lot of the characters, and it was a good balance of funny and drama and action. I think it was a very well balanced show overall.
What's the main character's name again? If you can just see there.
Kafka Hibino.
Kafka. I love Kafka. I think he's probably one of my favorites of the new protagonists.
Dude, so cool. And like just such a love, like when what's the blonde twin tail girl name? Ishikaya? No.
Izakaya? I don't know, but I know who you're talking about.
So the woman who's phenomenally strong,
Yeah,
part of
who's
the
like
cadet.
a prodigy.
Yeah. So when he protects her from the monster, and he's not like weirdly edgy as you would expect most protagonists to be like. He's like, "Hey, dude, are you okay?
Yeah.
Please, don't share my secret with anyone." Like, he's just a lovable main character, and it also makes sense then when his secret gets found out, and all the people are trying to help him.
Everybody in his squad
Yeah.
who knows him and what he's like, because he's been such a in like sports terms, he's like a glue guy.
Ew.
So, a glue guy is usually somebody on the team who's not very like talented, but they have such a great personality, and they're so good at like helping the team like coexist and getting along with everybody and keeping like a unit cohesive.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the role Kafka fills. But he's also like super intelligent about kaijus, because he puts like a lot of time into it, because he knows physically he's not the best. He can't stack up to the rest of his squad mates.
Yeah.
And so he tries to fill in his gaps by being very knowledgeable about the kaijus and trying to help on the field through that, which I like that they show that in the show quite a bit, and you see like people be like acknowledging it, like, oh, thank God there was somebody here who decided to take the time to look at the kaijus and dissect the body and be like, oh shit, we actually need to do this and this.
And I think it's a very well thought out world and story so far. I'd like to see where it goes. So maybe I'd put it at like an 8 for now.
I put it at an 8.5.
Okay.
But sorry, going back to why I really love Kafka is because it's a 30-year-old protagonist. We don't often see this in shonen.
I hate that we're starting to relate to stuff.
Yeah.
What did do you remember? Okay, once again, whenever we talk about anime, I talk about this, but campfire cooking in another world.
Yes.
So I think when it first came out, I must have been like 23, 24, somewhere there.
Didn't it come out last year?
No, my child. It came out a while ago. Oh wait. Time is slipping. Memory fading.
Yeah, but what about campfire cooking?
So I would watch it, and then the protagonist is obviously a salary man, just like a random dude, and I'm like, oh, like man's in his 30s, like whatever. He's 27, dude. Like, campfire cooking in another world, the protagonist is the same age as myself, and I'm like, it's a weird moment when like the Orsons
2023 Bjorn.
Really?
Yeah.
It came out last year. Oh my god. I've rewatched it like 4 times.
It just feels so long ago.
So it's weird to see how like
as time goes on,
I no longer enjoy watching the high school anime anymore,
Yeah,
because
I feel-
I don't relate to them anymore.
there's something I'll talk about in one of the other shows, but sometimes there's some scenes with like girls in high school that just make me feel like very uncomfortable now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas I used to just take it as par
Yeah.
for the course, and now I'm like, I'm not. This ain't for me anymore.
Yeah.
This ain't it.
But yeah, back to relating to 30-year-olds and old. Do you know the story about how Kaiju number 8, the author, not came up with the idea, but kind of like his inspiration for Kafka, because
No idea.
he says like Kafka is him.
Okay, well, bit of a flex, sure. Self-insert.
Because I can't remember which other manga.
Yo, bro.
Can you say the word for me? I can't.
Mangaka?
Thank you. He was working for, but he was an assistant to this guy, and there were 2 other assistants.
Surely Eiichiro Oda or something.
No. But one of the other 2 assistants, I can't remember who the one was, but he went on to write another very popular manga. But the other one was the author for Black Clover, and he
Okay.
talked about like how difficult it was to see his like peers succeed and be so successful while he was still stuck being an assistant,
Yeah.
not being able to get a manga
Something
of
published.
the
Yeah.
And he said that was the inspiration for Kafka and his story. That's why he sees like so much of himself in Kafka,
And like,
which is like
honestly, Kafka is a pretty well-rounded character.
Yeah.
Like, he tries to be upbeat, but you can see the weight of like not having achieved his dream weighing on him and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, like, we should talk a little about the story, but that he wants to be fight the kaijus, but he has missed the deadline. He has failed so many times the test to become like a soldier
Yeah.
to fight the kaijus, and
The cutoff age is like 31 or something. 32?
No, the cutoff age was like 27.
But then they raise it to 32.
Then they raise it to 32, which is his
and he's
age
31
currently.
or something.
Yeah, and he's like this is my final chance.
Oh, speaking of, I really like Ichikawa as a character. Like a younger kid who joins the cleanup crew that Kafka's part of,
Yeah.
and then eventually also tries to join the
So like
defense force.
in the traditional shonen, he would have been like the main character.
Yeah. And he's doing very well for
He
himself.
does very well.
But I like their relationship. And it's like this weird thing of Kafka seeing himself in this kid.
Yeah, wants
Um,
him to succeed where he couldn't.
Oh, man.
Great show.
Actually, the more we talk about it, the more I'm like,
convincing you.
the more it's like,
It's an 8.5.
much like the force ratings on the kaiju. It's climbing.
Yeah.
It's
If like I had like one
Fortitude,
negative thing to
sorry.
say about it is that the battles aren't as long as I would like them to be. It's
Mm.
very much like One Punch Man-esque where Kafka's coming in and just like one hitting KOing
Or
the...
Mina is coming in
Yeah.
with her crazy big gun. And what's with the tiger? I really
I want to know where'd you find that tiger? I've only seen it do something useful once.
turns out she's from like Dubai or something, and it's standard
Watch
to
it
have
like
a tiger.
transform into a big anime titty girl.
No, it's still a tiger, just has boobs. It's that kid from what's the anime where it's all based on like writers from history? That detective type show. It's got like 6 seasons.
Bungo Stray Dogs.
Yes, it turns out it's actually that one kid as well from Bungo Stray Dogs.
But anyways,
okay,
yeah, very
we talked a
solid
lot.
show.
So of the shows, I think Kaiju number 8 was my favorite. Hello, you? Sorry, I am causing trouble on the double. I want to talk about 2 of the shows
Sequel seasons.
sequel seasons that disappointed me.
All right, go ahead.
So both Mushoku Tensei and Demon Slayer were kind of mid seasons for me. Truly.
Let's start with Mushoku Tensei. Not beating the PDF allegations at this point.
Yeah. Okay. So turns out he's now doing his father proud by cheating on his wife. He also turns out,
Which again, the person that he's cheating on his wife with, she is
a groomer.
she is like hundreds of years old, has known him since he was a child.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's weird. Like the show's taken such a weird turn. It's reminding me the last like 2 seasons have honestly reminded me of the middle of the first season of Sword Art Online, where it's like this edgy show, and then suddenly he's dating someone, raising a child. That's a program.
Yeah.
It's going the same way, and it's losing me. Honestly, the story is losing me with Mushoku Tensei. I don't know if you could weigh in, but I find it a bit just mid. I find a lot of the stuff to be weird, or just Rudy as a character is kind of, I don't know. He's stopped being interesting. He stopped. I've stopped caring about his growth because I'm not seeing him actually growing as a person. It just feels like my dick don't work, or my
something
dick,
we can't relate to.
or my dick worked too good and now I got 2 wives. Like, it's
yeah, I'm very much the same thinking as your thoughts. It's very weird, like we said before, the grooming not even allegations, the grooming. Then there's also another character, one of his dad's companions, who's an elf, who's also like 100 years old, ends up getting together with a 16-year-old
Cliff,
boy
yeah.
with Cliff. But
But
if
it's
we
a medieval world, Hushaf. Those rules modern rules don't apply there.
but if we like take that out and continue to look at the bigger world building aspect of it, we got to see a little bit more of the world, which was pretty cool.
we got to see a bit more traveling and
Yeah.
stuff, which is cool. Yeah, for sure.
We kind of like the big thing that like I'm kind of hanging around on now is to find out about what's his name, the dragon warrior dude, the one that kind of like that they met in the first season, who absolutely like
pretty much one hit KO'd the
Yeah.
entire crew. Yeah.
because
I don't know.
we find out that he's also been using like the teleporting temples that Rudy found out about. So it's kind of just interesting. Like I was just hoping they would like cross paths again and kind of get more background into the man god. Like what's his deal?
Yeah.
Why does he keep helping Rudy out so much? So it's like those aspects.
Did you know I've actually completely forgotten about those mysteries?
Yeah.
Like the show has done such a switch from like an adventure show, and I think the promise of the first 2 seasons of it being an adventure story where Rudy through his travels is growing and healing the scars of his previous life.
Yeah.
It's pivoted so hard, and I'm thinking of other shows that pivoted that hard. Like for instance, I Have No Enemies. Vinland Saga.
Vinland Saga.
So I think with Vinland Saga, the difference between season 1 and 2 is it's very stark, like how different the two. But even like season 2 still played into the main theme of war for me, and I think yes, the last 2 seasons of Mushoku Tensei have had Rudy growing in certain aspects, but I feel like the stuff that they set up in the first 2 seasons, well, like part 1 and part 2 of season 1, just it hasn't continued through for me. I find it too different of a show. To like it no longer. I don't want. I'm just trying to like push through, I guess.
Yeah, I understand. But there's like times even in the season where like there were certain episodes or scenes that kind of were like, oh, that reminded me why I was enjoying it in the first place. And I think one of those for me was when he goes to comfort his sister who's having a hard time being away from her dad and adapting to a new school. And he thinks back on his time of when he was a shut-in and his older brother tried to come in and help him. And how his older brother must have felt seeing him, and how he feels now looking at his sister who's struggling and he can't do anything. That
also at the end of the season where his father dies and he thinks about his own. And he thinks back to his parents from his previous life.
He reflects on how he never saw Zenith and what's his dad's name? Paul, like he never
which is
saw.
so funny. Like
he never
you
saw
have
them.
Zenith, which is a pretty like fantasy-esque name, and then just Paul, Jonathan.
Yeah, he reflects back like how like ever since he was born, he never kind of saw them as his parents.
Yeah,
and he starts thinking about actually how much he appreciated having them in this life, and he never got to thank them for it.
Yeah,
and which is actually very heartbreaking.
So those moments I really like, but they're few and far between, and they also are given like a minute. You know, it's very much like half an episode or like a quarter of an episode, kind of flashbacks.
But hey, let's give an entire season to his dick don't work.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big fan of Drake. But okay, so and then Demon Slayer.
This is very like a filler arc.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you up to date? Are you watching week to week?
I think so.
Okay, so without like spoilers, it seems like things about to kick off now.
Yeah, but like you said,
it's the thing that I accidentally spoiled for you when I was convinced.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Still,
you showed no remorse.
I said sorry.
In the most like, yeah, sorry, I guess. Like, whatever, loser. But yeah, this season. We got a bit of backstory on certain things. I think it was meant to be like silly antics and really building up to show how powerful
and each Hashira is, as well as our ultimate villain, Michael Jackson.
But also to show how different Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and who's Boruto? Inosuke, how much more powerful they are compared to the regular troops.
Yeah.
To show that they actually are on the path to becoming Hashira.
But like in the grander scheme of things, that's very good storytelling. But like
yes, but
when you're being
mm,
when we're so far between seasons and it just to get this,
yeah.
and that's all we're gonna get.
And we've seen very little of Nezuko and anything about her, being a day walker.
yeah.
It's been a very kind of goofy whatever kind of season. I'm
But I think-
hoping. Oh, what was it? It's confirmed that the final arc is
The
going to be
final
3 films.
will be 3 films. I don't know how many, like how far
Apart they're going to
they're
be.
gonna be. If it's gonna be like every year, or if it's gonna be like a 6 month.
Yeah,
So I guess we'll find that out closer to next year.
but that's exciting. I can imagine each one is going to be hella action packed and very
Yeah.
beautiful, as is the
Final
standard.
episode is gonna be tomorrow, Sunday. It's gonna be an hour and a bit.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I want to talk about I want to talk about Oshinoko from this coming season.
Okay, well, we can say that that's still late. But
okay.
yeah, but I think I know, like we said, it's a bit boring, it's a bit filler. But I think like in the grander scheme of things, when you do like a complete rewatch of Demon Slayer from like
Start to
episode 1
finish.
to
It'll be
like
a
the end.
good. It'll be a good like down tempo season
Yeah.
in between incredibly intense
Yeah, but
moments.
it's just hard when when it's right now and you're like, I want to get to the action, man.
Okay.
But all right, ratings for Mushoku and Demon?
Mushoku's a 6 for me. Demon is maybe a 7.
5 and 7.
5 and 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just quickly go through 2 of the other big show like sequels. Reincarnators and Slime. It's like a 7.5. Lots of talking.
Lots of talking.
I'm just seeing
Some
because I've read
plots.
the manga, so
Yeah.
I've just seen it animated, which is cool. But it's nothing crazy. Lots of chatting.
It's fine. We're moving towards a little like festival arc, and who doesn't like a good festival?
Yeah, it's cool. It's seeing a lot of the characters we met over the last like years coming together.
And also like seeing like Rimuru like rebattle Hinata now, and seeing how much stronger he's gotten since that
he's
last time.
essentially a deity.
Yeah, that's been really cool to see.
Oh, and you as a fan have now found out the grand plan. They talked about it for like 30 seconds, but they've mentioned the angels.
Oh yeah.
So that's the big bad of the show, where it's like in this world when someone like a city gets too big and too powerful,
They come in and wipe
angels
it out.
come down from above and wipe them out.
Yeah.
And
And Rimuru's like, fuck them, let them come.
yeah, pretty much. So decent season, lots of chatting, nothing too crazy.
Solid 8s. I mean, this is one of the 24 episodes, so it's going to be carrying over into the next season. But from like the first half,
pretty
good
solid.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
8.
How was Konosuba 3 for you?
So good. Konosuba rarely does like heartfelt stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of did like a very heartfelt kind of story where Darkness is kind of leaving the adventure party in order to marry this guy in order to protect the city, because this guy is trying to bankrupt the city, and the only way that he won't is if Darkness agrees to marry the guy.
Yeah.
The rest of the party don't know about it. They don't. And Darkness doesn't want to tell them why she left. And every time they go and try to convince her, you can see how difficult it is for them to let her go and for her to pretend that she doesn't want to be with them anymore.
Yeah.
And they still do a very good job of balancing the comedy aspect of Konosuba. Again, so many times during this season where I've just like burst out laughing. It's, again, probably one of my favorite comedy shows. Not comedy anime, comedy shows out there.
If we were to draw like a comparison to like Bofurun, right? Where I'd say it was like 60% drama, 40% fighting. Whereas I think Konosuba does this amazing thing of like, I'd say like 30% is drama and like heartfelt stuff, and then 70% is comedy.
I would say even less in
2080.
in like your regular Konosuba season. I'd say this season 30, 70. But like
it
a lot
tends
of
to hang
Konosuba-
out somewhere there, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like I think hitting that sweet spot of 80 to 20 is really, really good if you want the heartfelt moments to be as important as they are. You need to have that other 80% of something that isn't drama, essentially, or isn't, I guess, heartfelt, because it makes those moments stand in like contrast. I think that's why like soapies and stuff are just so exhausting for me, because it's 90% drama, and I'm like I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I need something to break it up, man.
Yeah. But okay,
solid
so,
stuff. I put it as 9.
Okay,
Very
phenomenal.
incredible season.
I'm really
very
gotta
sad it
catch
was
up.
only 11 episodes.
Only
Kind of
11?
a short season.
Okay. I dropped My Hero. I just went and read the rest of the manga because I'm
It's finishing up on August 5th. Will be the last chapter.
Oh shit. Well, now finally the last chapter, considering you got your information wrong last time.
I was right.
No, you weren't right. But
I'm back in again. I'm interested. There's more fights happening. Although I really didn't. There was one thing that happened in the season. So they can't. There's right now. This is like the
final fight.
The good side's like final stand. Like they have this big plan on how they're gonna take down all these different evil factions. They're gonna like split them up in all these places and divide up all the heroes and go and fight them. And so they've planned it around like, okay, these are the best heroes to face these villains and so and so. And so when Deku is supposed to go into like his
he gets
portal,
taken by what's her face, the lady with the blood.
Yeah, she uses just like a normal cable and just pulls him in.
Yeah,
you're telling me he couldn't like 10% fucking final smash me like, bitch, no, I'm going this way. I was so stupid.
I think I remember reading that part and I was like, this feels like it's one of those random things they like to throw into stories to make it seem like the stakes have been raised.
Yeah, there could have been a better way to separate him, but that was such like an ass pull for me.
Yeah,
like, and they were like, oh, he like his spider sense didn't work because she truly loves him and doesn't want to hurt him. That doesn't make sense. She's still trying to kill him. I'm sorry. I was just that probably
it was very frustrating. So that's I think
everything else I've enjoyed from the season so far.
It's cool. It is cool how they've split people up to have like the Bakugo family fighting Daki. Is it Daki?
Not Bakugo family. It's Endeavor's family.
And well, it's the Bakugos. Their surname is Bakugo.
Well, Bakugo is.
Oh no, sorry. It's that's Explosion Man.
Yeah.
What is? What? No, Jesse. No. Oh.
But anyway, like Endeavor's family, half and half. What's his name? Is it not Shinji?
What is his name?
You just read the thing, so you should know. But anyways, yeah, half and half's family. They're doing a little family feud where, they're trying to sort some stuff out instead of going to like therapy, like normal people would do. And they decided to burn each other alive.
It is not healthy at all. Todoroki,
Shoto. Yeah, Shoujo.
So the Todoroki family.
Which is great.
It is. Look, I appreciate how they're doing it. I'm just kind of over it at this point, truth be told.
But I also think I was very disappointed with not disappointed, but let down about New World Order, the new woman, the Americas.
Oh, dude,
she's so cool.
What a dumb little arc to throw in there.
Yeah, but she's so cool, had such a cool power, and then she was like gone within 2 episodes.
I think we talked about this, and I was just like, it felt so pointless.
Yeah.
It felt like such a pointless little arc to throw in, because at the end of the day, her, like, the whole thing of hers was like, oh, she implanted new order is it's a quirk that says she can essentially rewrite rules as long as they're not regarding to her own body, that kind of stuff. And as she was fighting All for One, she didn't, and she was about to lose, but then he stole her quirk, but she wrote a rule into her quirk saying her quirk cannot exist with other quirks. So then it started ripping apart All for One's quirks.
All the quirks he's collected over like however many years he's been alive.
The problem is
we don't know which quirks are gone.
We don't know which quirks were gone, and they mention it, I think, potentially at some point they'll be like, oh, his regenerative power isn't as good as it once was. But like,
it was like almost a way like he realized like he made what's the villain's name?
All for One.
Shigaraki. Shigaraki, like he realized, oh shit, I may have overpowered him. I need to find a way to nerf him. So they do this, and they don't, and they leave it open ended. So just whenever it becomes convenient, they could just be like, oh, she did it. New World Order is doing it.
It's like, oh, all the stars of all these different people's actions have combined.
Yeah.
No, I was like, so much of My Hero right now it's so frustrating.
Yeah, the writing is not as strong as maybe it once was early on.
Yeah, I think we hyped it up a couple months ago when we
hyped it up because I said I was off the train, but I'm back on the train.
I think I might have mentioned that at this point I'm just kind of seeing it through to the end.
Yeah. I said the same thing.
Also. I still love the like character designs, and a lot of the like action sequences can be beautiful. But yeah, it's definitely lost its sheen for me. But
that being said, 7.5.
So that's pretty much, we've covered most of the sequels and Kaiju number 8. The one, there were a couple shows I'd started watching and then dropped. For instance, what's it? Yozakura Family Mission.
Still watching it. Enjoy it. It's very wholesome.
I enjoyed it,
a
but
lot.
I'm not up to date. I kind of dropped it.
I keep up to date. It's great. Sunday mornings.
Monster, absolute garbage. Oh my goodness.
Did you see it through?
Yeah, it's one of those shows where, like, if I'm completely bored with my life and I just need something to watch while I'm eating dinner or whatever, I'll just go watch the most recent episode. But it is genuine garbage.
That one to the left of it, I dropped it, I think, after 4 or 5 episodes.
Oh, what's it? How to Love My Elven Bride.
Yeah.
I'm actually, it's not that garbagey.
It's not that garbage, but it's just like I never felt a need to return.
It's literally every season there I have like 3 or 4 shows that if I'm desperate to watch something because I'm bored or I want to eat and I'm struggling to like sift through Netflix's like stuff, I'll just watch it.
Yeah.
But it is garbage. The Go Loser Ranger.
This was a big surprise for me. I really enjoyed this show.
In terms of the new show, I think the animation and like that kind of stuff can be a bit janky. Like a lot of the time, it's not Ufotable. It's not Cloverworks. It's not
still
Mappa,
pretty decent though.
but it's not bad.
Yeah. So it tells a great story. It's about. Well,
what do you call it? You said it's the boys, but anime.
It is, yeah, to a certain point. But it's how like the world is not black and white. It's gray, and so it's kind of like breaking down both sides. The monster side and the hero side. Like, you know, the monsters aren't all that bad. The heroes aren't all that good.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's gray. It's not black and white.
Right.
And
I am very curious because you see the main, like, so his name is Fighter D.
Fighter D, yeah.
He's the one, like, basically, he leaves the other monsters. Oh, what is the premise? Essentially, you have these Power Rangers that fight every Sunday, a group of monsters. Turns out.
But these monsters are like the goons. They're not like the main
they're
boss
the henchmen.
Yeah.
Whereas turns out 10 years ago the Power Ranger people
defeated all the
bosses and then came up with this plan to send the monsters down every Sunday to like unite humanity against them, that kind of stuff,
showcase their powers and be like, we're still here to protect you.
And one of the henchmen, Fighter D, has had enough. He's over it, so he escapes and pretends to be a human being. And it's all about how he tries to
be one of the Power Rangers. Cause they have
what are they called? Dragon Keepers.
Dragon Keepers, because they have like this academy where you'll start like from the bottom rank and work your way up, where you can eventually become one of the
Dragon Keepers. And you have blue, red, yellow, green, pink.
Yeah, and each squadron like focuses on different things. Where like red is like power, the yellow does like
science,
technology,
tech, that kind of stuff. Blue, I actually don't know what their vibe is, but point is, it's been very cool to see like how to some degree everyone is kind of like a shitty human being. Yeah. They're all
like Fighter D is not a good like
he's not a
person,
good guy, but somehow
he makes some very like stupid decisions, but it's like it's understandable. He is like a monster who's now trying to almost assimilate into human culture just to like blend in, and so he's always making like a decision a monster would make.
But the human beings in the show are also like kind of garbage,
except for like one who's just like a little wholesome little boy,
red hair. Yeah. But he's trying to like change the world, all that kind of stuff. But it's very cool. I would put it at an 8, maybe even higher.
Very surprising. I really hope if I could have one show get a season 2 from this
past season,
it would definitely be Go Loser Ranger.
Okay, I'm just trying to look through very quickly to see if there's anything
there's definitely 2 more that I want to talk about.
Okay.
Jellyfish Can't Swim.
I tried.
Really?
I tried. I couldn't.
Was it?
It's that thing of like it does that thing for me where they didn't spend enough time making me like the characters to then start doing all the drama. But maybe it is one of those shows that if I give it 3 episodes, I will get hooked.
It's basically tells the story of a girl who kind of she's very passionate about art, but she kind of like not fell out of love with it, but was kind of like forced to like give it up because like the people around her didn't support her or made fun of her art, and she kind of loses her way with it. And she meets another girl who really loved one of her pieces, and you slowly watch this person over the course of the season learn to fall back in love with their art and start to love themselves.
It's also important to note that the person that she meets is someone who was like in the pop industry, but then hated what they were making, and now they want to actually just do like singer-songwriter or rock or whatever. And it's also that thing of like falling back in love with what you actually enjoy, not being commercial, being true to who you are. It's a bit of a coming of age as an artist kind of story.
Yeah, but it is an idol show kind of disguised. If we're being honest,
very much so, because they meet other people as well.
They become like a VTuber type of idol where they're not on the stage. They created like a little VTuber animation to like do their music also.
Right.
Then they have like their knockoffs of like YouTube and TikTok on it also. One of the other girls that end up joining their band is a famous VTuber herself on the Twitch.
Okay.
I can't remember what their version of Twitch was called. But yeah, it's very cool. A lot of great character building and storytelling. If like you're into that kind of thing, the music is also pretty banging. Every time they put out a song, it's like an actual song that will play in the show for like a minute 30 or whatever.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah. Well, this is the show, but I also said like it kind of makes me uncomfortable sometimes because especially in like they only did it really in the first episode where they kind of like focused in on like a panty shot and these are like high school girls and made me feel very uncomfortable. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna show my girlfriend this show because she'll like it because like the main character is an artist, like her. And then I know how my girlfriend feels about when they sexualize children in shows. And I was like, oh, now I can't show this to her.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because there's some great storytelling in it.
Honestly, it's so tough because so much of anime, especially isekai, is so phenomenal until they hit the slavery part or like, but she's like 10 years old and it's like, okay, well, there goes me trying to show this to literally any other human being.
I was like, no one can know.
Wait, what was that show that was really good, but it was all about the guy literally just buying sex slaves? Where the world building was so phenomenal. We talked about this. Even Gigak talked about this show of, I think it's an isekai where this guy wakes up in a barn and then he defends, and he thinks he's in a game until he realizes it's not a game. And he defends this village from a bandit attack. He then...
I definitely have not watched this.
We've talked about it. He then goes into town and he eventually buys like a dog ear, like it's a half human person with like dog ears and a tail, but she's
Shield hero.
Sorry,
Shield
it's
hero.
Not... No, it's not that. I'll try and find it, and I might I'll try and show it to you.
Okay.
But okay, well, but it's just like this weird thing of like it is genuinely in terms of robust world building and how in detail a lot of the stuff was. It then also just has so much ecchi and so much like slavery that I'm just like, this is whack. This is crazy. Why couldn't you just do...
We were so close to greatness.
Why couldn't you just do a human show?
And definitely the last thing from the season I want to talk about is Oblivion Battery, which you actually put me on to.
Okay, and by the way, I'm not fully up to date. I'm like 2 episodes behind.
Okay. I told you this. I nearly dropped it just because the main character for me got so irritating. But I don't know if like maybe the author always got it, but like I was also feeling that. But like that episode, I was texting you as I was watching it. I'm like, I'm gonna drop it, and then you see him, the main character.
This is like episode 6, by the way.
No, episode 4.
Episode 4.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
You see the main character. So we talk about Oblivion Battery. Basically, the premise is there's this duo called a battery, which is your pitcher and your catcher.
Yeah.
Who were the most elite during their middle school time.
Yeah.
And they just went unbeaten, and nobody was able to
absolutely destroy teams.
They like caused people to like quit baseball the way they would dominate them. And basically, the catcher has lost his memory somehow.
We don't know how yet.
And he has a completely different personality now. He was known as like the commander, and he was like very stoic
and calculating.
And now he's just like a big old goofball who does
nipple hair.
It's grown on me.
dude, it's so good. Like just at the best times. I don't know what it is, but he just goes nipple hair.
Yeah, so and now like his new personality completely like hates baseball, hates like working hard and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like they go to a school that doesn't have any baseball, and they kind of trying to start a new team, and like everybody else on the team, on the baseball team, is like very enthusiastic and it's like wants to work hard and wants to make this work, and it's just like him just like not caring and not wanting to make it work. But then at the end of the 4th episode, you see him in the batting cages, actually trying to get better at
Yeah.
catching again. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick around.
Also, it's important to note that at this, so after he loses his memory, they don't go to a school. This battery, they stick together. They're glued at the hip pretty much. They go to a public school that has no baseball team. They have a baseball club that's not even got enough members. And weirdly enough, a lot of the people that they destroyed, who are phenomenal baseball players, end up at the same public school because
they had the same. They
had
were like
the same idea. Like, we're going
Yeah.
to quit baseball. We're not going to go anywhere that has a baseball squad. And so suddenly, at this public school, you have some of the best players from the middle school era at this high school now. So, and that's the whole thing. They're trying to get this public school to have a baseball team together, friendship, boys being boys, that kind of good wholesome
So
shit.
yeah, I've spoken about it before. I love my sports animes, and it's been a while since it's been a really good one. I wouldn't say it's a really good one yet, but like, you know, a lot of sports animes need time, and I'm willing to invest in.
In terms of it setting itself apart from other shows, the amnesia trope thing is a bit weird for me. It's starting to get like too into like superpowers, I guess. It sounds weird to say, but in terms of a gimmick, or rather, it's a gimmick rather than like a story thing. It's not like, for instance, in Haikyuu, where you just have a bunch of really great characters like going through the volleyball like scene. They've had to, in Oblivion Battery, they've had to introduce this other mechanic as opposed to just having really, really solid characters. So I'm a bit iffy on that. But for the most part, I've been enjoying the show. And there's like these really beautiful moments when you see them like catch a ball or hit a baseball. And it is, oh, dude, it's animated beautifully.
It's done by Studio Mappa.
Yeah.
A lot of the times the animation is ass.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
A lot of the times. I don't know. Maybe it's also just the style of the manga that they're trying to capture. Maybe it's not that great also. But in the latest episode, like in the last 5 to 8 minutes, it's like Studio Mappa's A-team was working on it again. It just became fucking gorgeous, and it was like, wow, could you not do this the entire time? Which, understanding, you probably couldn't, because that probably what went on there was
people will die.
Yeah. But I think the sound design wise, the entire show has great sound design. Especially when it comes to them playing baseball.
Oh, dude, we've talked about this before, but when you have the main battery, when the dude chucks it and then it hits the baseball glove of the catcher, and it's just like a gunshot going off. It's such a beautiful sound.
Especially then, because they compare it then when you have him, when he's not at full power throwing it.
Yeah, when he's only got 40% full count.
Yeah, and then you hear the actual like proper sound it's supposed to make. Also, like the batting, it feels like they went in and they had told someone, okay, just keep hitting it to the left side, and this is all gonna be our left sound. And so hitting to the right side is our right sound. Bunt it. These are all our bunt sounds.
Yeah.
Because all the sounds that they use for, like I said, for hitting the ball are like chef's kiss.
Chef's
so
kiss,
good.
kiss, kiss. But yeah, I think that should wrap up the past season of anime. Lest this become like a 4-hour long episode. There's a lot of stuff. Please, don't hesitate to tell us if we missed something. That you
was there
enjoyed.
something good that we didn't miss out on?
Okay, now we're gonna move on to the upcoming season. There's gonna be a little segment at the end. You really?
Just for one show in particular.
Okay, actually no.
Two shows in particular.
3. No, there's 3 banging shows of
that you're really
hopefully.
excited for.
Okay, so Oshinoko. The second season of Oshinoko.
So excited.
So excited. I think it's been a while since I read the manga, but I did get a fair amount into this arc. While
I thought you said you don't
manga.
read mangas unless, you know.
No, okay, there's two reasons I would read a manga. One is because the anime is really going to the dogs, and I really just want to figure out how it ends. Or the anime is so good, and then following season will only come in like 4 years time. Those are the only 2 reasons I will pretty much read a manga, and I will read Reincarnation or Returner manhwa if I'm bored.
Speaking of manhwa, you know what manhwa I really want to read, which is the returning one? The one with the asteroid that's about to hit the Earth.
Oh,
that is such an interesting concept to me that I really want to go check that out.
Oh, but Giga also did a video recently on one. It's called the Omnipotent Reader's Viewpoint.
Yeah.
That's also one I would like to watch. I think he does a phenomenal job of finding the more niche and interesting ones, so that you don't have to sift through all the garbage.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know how the sales of like Oshi no Ko were doing, but he was singing the praises even before the anime was coming out.
Oh, dude, Oshinoko is also okay. So that's what I wanted to say earlier, actually, when we were talking about like for instance, the Demon Slayer last episode being an hour long. I wonder if they're gonna do the same thing with the second season of Oshinoko. How in the first season we got an hour and a half, like we got a feature length film as the first episode.
I don't think we will, but I think Oshinoko having that first. Okay, first let's just discuss what is Oshinoko about.
Like, it's actually a returner anime, weirdly enough, but basically we follow a doctor who a famous idol, quite young, comes. I think at the time she was 16.
Yeah,
she
works
comes
in a
and gives,
rural area.
Yeah, she comes to a rural area in Japan to give birth to twins. But to like keep it hush hush because the public's not allowed to find out, all that kind of stuff. But what happens is the doctor actually
is a super fan of her.
He's a big fan. He's not a super he's a super fan, but not in the creepy sense. He more just like admired her and was
because
like,
of a previous patient he had who was a big fan of her.
Yes. But then on the night that she gives birth, he is outside and he noticed someone creepy like standing near the hospital asking too many questions about her. So then he tries to chase him off, ends up being pushed off a cliff, dying. He then gets reincarnated as this idol's child. The first episode details all of this, and then the first couple of years of their life before the idol, who is now around like 20 or so, is brutally murdered. And then the mystery of the show is finding out who orchestrated the murder, why all this happens.
Yeah.
And it's a phenomenal fucking show.
So I know we said like they get reincarnated, but that's like the only time that we touch on anything like supernatural, and then never again.
Yeah,
Don't
never
like
again.
that. What have you read? You bitch ass. Why are you gonna be like this?
No, Hushaf, I'm so sorry, but I was like, hold on, did I read this or was it in the anime? That's why I froze.
Okay, so maybe there might be another supernatural element. But
he gets reincarnated again as his own child.
But we are following the two twins, the doctor that got reincarnated and
Aqua
and his sister
Ruby, who we found out is also a reincarnate, or like she knows too much.
She's also reincarnated. We find out that she is the patient that he really started to care for, who was a super fan.
Yes.
Of the idol.
I know I'm gonna sound like such a manga reader fan, and I apologize in advance, but I need everyone I know who's watched that first season of anime to catch up to where I am, because there's so much I want to talk about.
Oh, we could talk about it in
3 months
time.
But yes, very hyped for Oshinoko's second season.
Yeah,
it's all about the play that they're going to be putting on, which involves a lot of the characters we've come to know.
So Aqua's kind of at the end of the last season kind of found out more information of the person who might have orchestrated his mom's death.
We don't know who the father is, and we were suspecting that it is his father
who orchestrated the mom's death. But yeah, we're gonna find out more. He kind of got a good lead at the end of season 1, and season 2 is gonna see him following up this lead by being in this play.
Yeah, because we know that one of the theater troops that is participating. That's potentially where his mom and dad met.
Had some type of relationship, and then also on Ruby's side, she is continuing her journey into the idol world.
Yeah, like her mom.
Yeah.
So
is this also technically an idol anime you were watching?
Oh God. Oh, speaking of God, Kami no To, Tower of God.
It's been so long. Did you read the manga for this?
No. So we got my dog so excited without growling.
I recently went and watched a recap for
I want to go and rewatch the first season. I just remember loving it. I found the world interesting. It reminds me a lot of Hunter x Hunter, like the
exam arc.
Yeah, the exam arc of Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. So basically, just a bunch of people trying to climb the tower. If you reach the top of the tower,
any wish gets granted.
You meet God and get any wish granted.
Yeah.
So you have a whole bunch of characters that you meet throughout the first season, all with their own ideas. For ambitions to reach the top. You also find out about the world of the tower and like all the different factions and the politics going on around it. Super interesting, great world building. The first season does a good job of world building and balancing that out with action and in the show and intrigue. And it really, and despite having a very large cast, you get very invested in like a lot of them,
Yeah.
even though a lot of them don't spend a lot of time, get a lot of screen time. You still come to appreciate and love all these different characters, except for one. Got me. I don't want to. I'm not gonna spoil it.
Wait, what do you mean? This is episode 1. This is season 1 though.
I'm not gonna spoil because if you haven't watched season 1, I don't want to spoil the ending of season 1 because I feel you need to be present and watch that. And
Betrayal.
experience.
That's all we're gonna say. Betrayal. But yeah, season 2 coming up. Gonna
Yeah.
follow. You explained it as kind of this season. It's almost like the first season was the prequel.
Yes.
And now this, we're actually gonna follow one of the the main character
yeah.
from the first season.
The main character we follow in season 1, Bam. It was
Bam.
If when you're finished with season 1, you'll be like, did I just watch a prequel to the main story?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like setting up the world, all these moving parts, the characters, and at the end of it, Bam is like, I need to get stronger to climb this tower because he's pretty much the weakest person who's trying to climb the tower when we are introduced to him and as we watch him throughout season 1.
Yeah.
And-
Barring a few moments where like actually he might be.
I mean,
super
standard
powerful.
anime type main character vibes.
But very cool. I haven't watched a trailer or anything. I just want to
Same.
experience it.
Highly recommend. Please, definitely go watch season 1. If you're watching season 1 now, you're gonna count yourself so lucky that you don't have to wait a long time between that ending and the start of season 2.
Okay. Next, sorry, we're rushing through these a bit, but I want to talk about the Suicide Squad isekai.
The first 3 episodes came out and I haven't had a chance to check it
Me
out yet.
neither.
But I'm so excited. I really hope that this is a success. I would love to see more Western media crossover.
My one, because I watched the trailer, I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, it looks interesting. Looks like a bit of a beat 'em up, just crazy cool characters. Nothing. I don't think it's gonna be super heartfelt or anything. It's just gonna be action.
Yeah. So the plot is the Suicide Squad. Yes, that Suicide Squad from the DC comics get isekai'd
As like a task force to destabilize governments or fight these people in a fantasy world. The one takeaway I had was when what was it called? She kept calling the Joker Pudding. I had flashbacks to Darling in the Franxx. Darling.
Darling.
But yeah, talk about it. I gotta sort something out.
Yeah, very, very excited. There's actually another Western media which is crossing over for an anime for this year, Rick and Morty, but that looks so bad. The Suicide Squad, it's done by Studio Vit, I believe, looks absolutely beautiful. It's so cool to see a lot of these characters in an anime, medium. If you look at kind of like recent DC cartoons, they've kind of leaned into the designs looking a bit more anime-ish, but this is like full-on anime DC characters, which is very cool. I hope Marvel will do something similar. I think there's some fantastic characters that will translate very well into kind of like your anime setting with some of your anime tropes, and it could be some cool storytelling that could be done.
I think also if we just think about the Suicide Squad film from a couple years back, that no one really enjoyed that much.
No, it did. It was probably one of the best DC movies that have come out in a long time, because there was 2 that came out. The one that James Gunn did, which is the last one that came out that had John Cena in it, was incredible. It's actually a very good movie, and I highly recommend.
But what was the one before that? The one from like
that was the one with Will Smith.
as Deadshot or whatever. That one, I remember people didn't enjoy that.
Was not good.
It was not good. So
despite having a really cool cast, I can't remember the director's name. He just really didn't like understand the Suicide Squad and what they're about.
The reason I bring that up is because in that film it was too DC. It's too James Gunn universe DC, and like it's so dark and like whatever. But
you mean Zack Snyder?
Zack Snyder, sorry. It was too Zack Snyder, but I think the Suicide Squad characters lend themselves so well to being like almost larger than life characters, like way wacky, so like disproportionate in like the way that they react to things, which is, anime.
Yeah.
That's legit, like anime and especially animated media lends itself so well to exaggeration and overreaction. So I'm keen. I'm excited to see where this goes. I predict, and it's Wit Studio, which is phenomenal.
Is it Wit or Vit, or is it just because we're...
I think I'm thinking of Japanese, right? And I'm pretty sure they would just say Wit.
Okay.
Wito. Oh,
We promised we wouldn't do this anymore.
no, this is Japanese. Like, also, speaking of doing Japanese accents, can I talk about the first anime that I want to talk about from this upcoming season?
Go ahead.
Did you come across the Elf anime by any chance?
The Elf anime.
Okay. Hushaf? So there is an anime this coming season. It is about so it's a massage therapist who what does he do? So he has a customer come in who is an overweight elf character.
I've seen.
Who just loves, and I kid you not, fried potato. She says fried potato in well, because I don't know. It's one of those weird Japanese things I think of, like French fries are just fried potato.
Stop it.
Dude, I'll play the trailer for you. That's how she says it. But I feel like
I watch comedians.
But she's addicted to fast food in our world. It is so sexual.
Yeah, it's like authors trying to hide their fetishes, challenge impossible.
Yeah, pretty much. It's all about this massage therapist then trying to get her to lose weight. I don't know. It's potentially a very toxic anime.
This is what you're excited for.
I found it's obviously got the ecchi tag. Of course. It's comedy, ecchi, fantasy, slice of life. I just found it so hilarious. I'm gonna play the trailer for you right now, Hushaf.
Oh,
I want
God.
you. I'm not gonna play it.
I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna need a shower after I watch this.
No, 100%. 100%. So I don't know how much we can show the audience, but there you go. We have this massage therapist and this elf that comes in, and she's like needs help, but she's just talking about French fries and how much she loves fast food, and she needs this guy's help to like lose weight and keep it off. But you also meet other otherworldly characters like an ogre and stuff like that. I don't know. They're all
trying to come lose weight. Oh. Well, at least they're not underage.
At least they're not underage, right? Dude, it is such an ecchi show. It's crazy. This
video's gonna get age restricted.
No, I'm not gonna show this to anyone. But this is on YouTube, so. But I don't know.
Are you not gonna put the video like small in the corner? Or
no, we can't. We actually can't. I don't know what world we're living in that this is media, but it just stood out to me. In terms of the shows this coming season, it stood out to me so much.
I mean, how often do you see a fat elf in like any type of media? They're always like tall, lean, elegant, beautiful.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah.
There's potentially something wrong with what you said. But
you know what I mean?
But I think it's so weird and so goofy, and I'm gonna watch maybe 3 episodes and be like, and then drop it, just because to say like, oh no, I checked it out.
Gonna walk in one day, just look at it and close the door.
No, babe, I'm watching porn.
No, it's research for the podcast. I promise you.
I don't know. I just find it so funny.
Okay.
It's also why is he a massage therapist? Why would she go to a massage therapist?
Massage the fat away. I don't know.
It's just so wacky. I don't know. What have you seen from the upcoming season?
Kimi to Boku no Seigo no Senjo Arukai Sekai ga Hajumaru Seison season 2.
Okay, so there's something about starting and Another World season 2.
So I watched the season 1 of this. It was
what's the English name?
I don't know.
Well, that would help a bunch, truthfully.
You can look for it in the meantime. It should be near the top. It's one of the more popular ones because it's a season 2. Season 1 was an enemies to lovers type thing.
Our Last Crusade or The Rise of a New World, season 2.
So it's a enemies to lovers anime. Following on from the first season, which I'm actually surprised. I didn't think it was going to be popular enough to get a second season.
I don't think I watched it. It looks very generic. I'm not going to lie to you.
It is very generic.
Okay.
The only thing that made me watch it is because I love the enemies to lover trope, Which is like, quick side tangent. If you're gonna do like an enemies to lovers trope, which they didn't really do there, you please let them be enemies. Show them like absolutely hating one another before you get to like the lovers part. Like in the first season, they were like enemies for maybe 3 or 4 episodes. I need to see more hate.
It feeds me.
Like I'm waiting for the Kendrick and Drake to move into the lovers part of the enemies to lovers trope. That's good hate. Now show me love. But yeah,
unfortunately, Kendrick is of age, so will not happen.
But yeah, excited for season 2. Excited to see them continue to build their relationship because they're still not like a proper couple yet. They slowly start to like help one another as they try to like bridge the gap between their two nations.
Okay.
So it's a bit of like a Romeo and Juliet thing going on also.
Cool.
But yeah, very excited. Done by Silver Link, which usually produce bangers.
Oh my gosh, Silver Link. Okay. I'm just trying to see if they. Oh, this one over here. I can't say the first word, so I'm going to say it in English instead.
Go on, say it.
So this is
I'll
called
say it with you.
The Elusive Samurai. Basically, set in feudal Japan. Caught my eye already. It is between the Kamakura and Muromachi periods. I don't know when that is, but basically the protagonist is, I think they're in support of the current shogun, but then the shogun gets assassinated and he has to go into hiding, and he's somewhere far-flung, and it's a bit of a coming of age.
Why does he have to go into hiding?
Sorry? Because he was part of the entourage of the former shogun.
Okay.
I think, I'm not 100% certain. I want to actually show you.
Was it the same fucking shogun that we know that's always in anime and dies?
Oda Nobunaga.
Yeah.
So this show looks beautiful, by the way. It looks absolutely gorgeous.
It kind of looks like a old school like anime style.
Yes. It's crisp, but like think of Samurai Champloo or Cowboy Bebop. Almost that character design, but way more crisp.
I can't remember.
Looks beautiful.
It's giving me the same vibes as, I can't remember the name of the anime, but it was like he starts off as like a mannequin type thing, and every time he kills like a demon, he gets like a human.
Oh yes. So that's where his father is a daimyo and sells his firstborn son to the devil, and they essentially, each devil takes a specific part of his body.
Yeah.
And then his life journey is, well, he gets taken in by a puppet maker.
Yeah.
Who then gives him artificial limbs and a mask and stuff because he's still alive. And then as he goes through life, he learns to fight, and then challenges all the different demons that have taken different parts of his body.
And as he's like killing them, he gets a body part back.
And then his father, who's the daimyo, who's now experienced great success, starts losing his success as the body parts get taken away.
I can't remember the name, but I think it's called Twice. Was it Doro? Not Doro Doro. Was it called Doro?
Anime where
but yeah, it's giving me the same vibes as that. Also like the animation in it, where it's leaning into an old school, because the one that we're just talking about that Bjorn's looking was like a remake of an old anime, so it had like that same stylistic approach, and I'm getting the same vibes from this.
Sorry, I just typed in Dororo. There we go. Fucking balls. Dororo. Because you also have Durarara. Which is another show. But Dororo, it was a very cool
I highly
anime
recommend.
from
It's a nice one season.
2019?
Yep. One season, a nice watch to just you can finish it.
But
Great
yes,
story.
Elusive Samurai looks very cool.
That looks cool.
It looks fairly historically accurate as much as anime can be.
You're going to be sitting there with your little, what's the Japanese robe thing?
Not a what is
Kimochi.
it called? Kimono.
Yeah. You're gonna be there with your little notebook. Like, this is not accurate. Hey Jesse.
Okay, Jessie obviously is also a big fan of the show, considering she's marched all the way from the bedroom to come here. Strange creature.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's my second one that I'm excited for from this season. I think it looks very pretty and the story looks interesting. I'm also, as a side note, I find I'm at the point where I feel I need to expand my horizons a bit and I need to stop watching the same shows.
So no more isekai for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and dial it down. And I want to expose my brain to a bit more variety in terms of what I'm putting in there. So the shows that I'm excited for this season, I made an effort to look at stuff that's maybe a bit out of
your comfort zone.
Yes.
Which is why you wanted to watch that.
No. Yeah, that's why I want to watch the Elf one.
All right. The next one that I am looking forward to is Mogan Psycho no Majujushi wa Ningen Data. The strongest magician in the demon lord's army was a human.
Okay, so do you know what I saw about this one? I saw that the episode was coming soon. I was like, okay, let me just look it up, and I found a Reddit post where someone was talking about it, and essentially they said like, at this point, it's like people are rolling a die, so like spinning a wheel. It's like, okay, demon, demon lord, magician, strongest. And then there we go. We roll
like
the new
those
anime.
kinky dice that like you roll. It's like kiss ear, like type of thing.
Exactly. Oh, it's so it's that's what the name said to me. It was like, yeah, there's a bunch of generic terms to go off of. Okay, why did it catch your idea? Because it's what is the name of the show in English is like the world's strongest magician is secretly
the strongest
demon
magician
lord.
in the demon lord's army was a human.
Yes.
So it's a human in the demon lord's army who's helping the demon lord take over like the humans.
Yeah.
So pretty interesting.
But he has to keep a secret from the people around him.
So the first episode actually came out this week and I checked it out. So it was pretty interesting because like animation is nothing to like gush over.
Gonna
it's
be
standard. But like
usual.
he's taking over this one village and he's telling the people, hey, his minions or like his army, don't kill all the humans. Try to keep as many of them as alive as you can. And they're like, sir, why are you trying to do this? And he's like, well, who's going to pay the taxes if they're all dead? Like, how are we supposed to fund like the demon lord's army? Like, no, there's no way to be taxes. Like, oh my god, we didn't think about this. And so because like he ends up like taking over this town like in record time, he meets like the demon lord. Who's like a small girl, and she was like, "That's actually smart that you didn't kill all those people and was using them to pay our taxes. Like I've got my eye on you." And he's like, "Oh, thank you." So she like gives him the village, and he's like, "Okay, now how can I improve this like village?" And he's like, "All right, we need to start building walls." And they're like, "Sir, we can't. The humans, if like they will take like 6 months if we make the humans do it." I'm like, okay, then we'll work with the humans to do it, and we can do it in like record time, like a month, because he needs to like build up the defenses. Because now this village they took over is like on the front line.
Yeah.
And so he starts implementing he's implementing salaries for both the human workers and for his like generals, like his army members. They're like, oh my god, this is like so cool. So I don't know if that's gonna be like a big focus of focusing like on him being a manager of the city.
Oh, okay. If it turns into more of like a strategy anime.
Yeah. So it has my interest for now, but we'll see where it will go. But yeah, that's my one.
Okay. I think. Oh, I don't know. It feels like a lot of slop this upcoming season. I got to be honest. I try to look as diverse as I can, but a lot of them just look so sloppy. But
I only had like one other that like caught my eye. I'll check out.
I do. Okay, so one of mine is it is an isekai, but it's not a power fantasy main character, dark hair, very generic vibe.
Oh, so okay, we chose different isekais then.
Okay. So this one over here, the English name is Dahlia in Bloom, crafting a fresh start with magical tools. Basically, a woman is isekai'd, and she gets born to a family where her father crafts magical tools. And things are going well for her. She's set to, I think, what was it? Sorry, I just need to double check. She is her father's apprentice, but before her father can see her wed, he suddenly passes away. And then on top of that, the man that she was going to marry, he says that he's in love with another woman. So that falls through. And then she's like, no, I can't. I'm going to actually like use my skills as a magical tool maker to set up my life and dictate how I want to live, kind of thing.
Kind of similar to previous season anime, the one where she keeps reliving the same life over again and she does like different things to take it into her own
I guess
hand.
so,
Yeah.
Kinda. But yeah, so it struck me as interesting because she uses, I think, from what I saw, an interesting cast of characters. They talk a bit about the magical tools and the like effects it has on the kingdom at large. It doesn't look like your very average generic animation, which I think.
Who's doing it?
It is by. Studios, Magica Infos and Typhoon Graphics, neither of which I've heard of.
Not familiar with their work at all.
But yeah, so obviously there is still a love interest, of course. But so there's like a bit of romance to it. It has comedy, it's fantasy, and I think I'm curious. I'm interested in it, and I want to try and watch a couple more romance that aren't just like super generic romance chucked in as a side of isekai. I actually want to watch romance anime.
Have you watched Love is War?
So good, so phenomenal. Oh my goodness.
Same author as Oshinoko?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's when I have one more anime.
Okay, well,
Do you have one
it's
more?
my turn now.
Yeah.
So you know how you didn't want to watch power fantasy, dark hair, edgy.
Oh my god.
Let me tell you about Hazuru Waku no Jota Ijo skill de Seikyo ni Nata Ora ga Subete wo
Okay,
Kyuren
for-
Sura made. English, failure frame, I became the strongest and annihilated everything with low level spells.
Oh my god. Okay, this is gonna be dumb, isn't it?
Do you know why I wanted to watch this?
Why?
Because in the promotional picture, there's a little jaguar man, and I just really love like
Jaguars.
no, like you know, like is it like
demi-humans?
yes, like anthropomorphic, like is the word anthropomorphic? Is that right?
Anthropomorphic.
Like when I
don't
played
know.
Skyrim, I played as the
Khajiit.
Akajit. The first D&D character I ever played was Tabaxi, which is human, like
Yeah, half human, half something else. Yeah.
well, it's not half, like it's a full cat person.
Oh, sure, but okay.
Yeah, but you know, it walks around on 2 feet, and
Chef, what is this edgy bullshit I'm watching right now? I will give it some credit. It does some of the parts of the trailer look visually like
Stunning.
quite phenomenal.
yeah,
Why does everything have an outline? Okay, can't show that part. Like there's some real etchy going on over here. There's some crazy fight scenes. The main character gives that stupid like edgy smile that's meant to be twisted and is honestly just so oh my goodness. What is this slop,
Alright.
Urshuff? What is
I'm
this
gonna
absolute
read you the little
slop?
blurb.
Okay.
Abruptly catapulted into a fantasy world, Momori Toko and his classmates have been summoned by the world's resident goddess to serve as heroes. Pretty standard stuff so far.
I think I started reading the synopsis, and then the moment it said class summoned to another world, I was like, boop, okay, next one. Thank you.
Luckily, most of the students display amazing skills upon arrival, except for Momori. Again, still standard stuff.
Yep.
Whose abilities bottom out as a measly E rank. With no further use for him, the goddess banishes Momori to a dungeon from which no one has ever returned alive. Yes, as it turns out, Momori's skills aren't so much worthless as they are abnormal. Abnormally powerful, even. If Momori can only claw his way back to the surface, nothing will stand in his way from getting revenge.
Do you remember there's an isekai from a couple years ago with literally the exact same story? I just want to go to my anime list. I want to double check. This anime got like 6 seasons, no joke.
But yeah, but like this is usually like the traditional one isekai that I watch in a season, which is like trash. Well, it's supposed to be trash. Sometimes like I end up really enjoying them. But it's the same as you usually also pick one isekai that's trash and you watch it.
I pick multiple that are trash and watch it. Ari Fureta. Do you remember this at all?
I recognize the art, the promotional poster.
Right. So Ari Fureta got multiple seasons. Pretty much all of them are ranked as like a 6. But I don't know, it was your slop. Literally, class summoned to another world. They're in a dungeon with some backstabbing or some sabotage. This kid, whose powers are, as far as the class knows, useless, drops to the bottom of the dungeon. Turns out he does some stuff, becomes way overpowered. His hair goes white, usual. And then eventually, I think he forms some romantic bond with a lolly, classic. Eventually,
standard stuff.
Like he gets to the point where he's like summoning cars and weapons, and he's using magic to do it. I don't know. It's whack. It's silly. It's goofy. Reminds me a lot of the synopsis you read. But
It's gonna be good.
But from the trailer that I just watched, I think it looks a bit better than Ari Fureta does. Ari Fureta is
definitely does look much better.
Is the sloppiest of the slop.
Yeah, it's also a studio I'm not familiar with. What was it? Seven Ox. Not familiar with them at all.
No, never heard of them either. But okay.
Oh wait, no. Well, they did Tony Kaku Kawaii.
What?
That was the one with like those two, like they were like 12-year-olds, like they meet and they get married, and it was supposed to be like very wholesome, like you'll probably recognize it from the A lot of people like quite enjoyed it.
I feel like
It was very popular when it was
I
coming out.
recognize it, but I don't think it's.
Nasa Yazuki falls in love at first sight after an encounter with the mysterious Tsukasa. When Nasa earnestly confesses his feelings, she replies, "I'll date you, but only if we're married."
The speed at which you're reading reminds me of T's and C's applied. Like it's the T's and C's section.
But I'm looking at this. They seem to alternate between like wholesome and then just some. I don't know if we can show that.
Okay. Either way, my last anime that I think
They did the slave anime from the previous season.
Which one?
The one where she needs like slaves to like have her powers.
Oh, the soldier one.
Mato Sae no slave.
Yeah.
From
Classic.
earlier in the year.
Classic. So my last anime of this upcoming season that I'm keen on, it's called VTuber Nanda ga. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna embarrass myself further, but VTuber Legend: How I Went Viral After Forgetting to Turn Off My Stream. Basically, this woman, she's a VTuber, and she has like a very almost like a classic, like cute, wholesome VTuber kind of stream. But she actually forgets to switch it off at some point. And then she like cracks a beer, starts acting like super like I guess grungy, or just like not the way that she's improper. Exactly. But then she starts going viral as a result of this. So then she doubles down as this like new character. And it's all about her journey as a VTuber.
Okay.
I think very interesting, but it's like
She gonna have a texting a minor arc?
So it's comedy and slice of life. I think it's going to be one of those almost like filler shows, but I'll just enjoy it as a palate cleanser after I watch my usual isekai trash.
It's very cool that over the last few years we've kind of seen mangas or animes which are like dealing
about streamers. And stuff.
Streamers, yeah. And YouTubers.
There is another one this season, hey? It's called Mayonaka Punch from PA Works. I don't know if you saw this, but basically Masaki, the now former member of the popular NewTuber group, Harakiri Sisters, after a career setback, aka getting fired unexpectedly via a live stream, she joins forces with Live, a partner with superhuman abilities. Together they aim to create sensational content and reach 1 million subscribers. Will they reach their content dreams or be hit with the block button?
Do you think YouTuber animes could be the new meta?
Isekai YouTuber animes.
This is exactly what I was thinking. Like I'm waiting for. I got isekai'd into a new world as a VTuber or whatever.
I remember how last episode we were talking about like the niching down of these job simulation games.
Yeah,
you're seeing it everywhere. Truly, with anime as well. Any kind of slop that exists, it becomes more and more niche slop eventually. But yeah, I think from my point, those are some of the bigger shows. There are some other ones that seemed interesting. There's one called
like as
Delico's
the season
Nursery.
goes, they'll reveal themselves and we'll watch them.
Yeah, for sure. But for the most part, lots of like a good variety. Like that's my goal going like into this coming season. It's just
variety.
I'm tired of exposing my brain to the same garbage over and over again. I can notice. I can feel the effect it has on me.
I forgot. Are you gonna check out the Dear Anime Girl one? Because that looks very cute and very wholesome.
I might give it like 2 episodes. For what Hushaf's talking about. It is that is a hilarious background to have. But it is called My Dear Friend Nokotan.
Did you watch the trailer for it?
I have not watched the trailer. So while we're watching the trailer, can you give a synopsis? What is it?
Basically, like there's the main.
Okay. Why are humans not deer? Please, what is the synopsis, Yushaf, as we watch this hilarious trailer?
So like the main girl that we follow, she used to be, she's like super popular and stuff now, but she kind of like has a history like before she became like super smart and super popular, that she's trying to like hide from her classmates, and they meet this deer girl who is able to somehow with her deer nose sense the past of of the main girl, and like
what is this fever dream? Sorry, she's able to sense the past of this other
like through
child.
her like deer nose, and it's like I know like about your history and stuff, and it's about her like kind of like getting to grips with like her past and who she is now through this like deer girl.
Okay,
And
okay.
it just looks cracked. It looks so funny.
It does look very, very cracked. Um,
She was pulling it. She was pulling the deer.
uh, no, this looks cool. I
I
don't know.
highly recommend you go check out the trailer. It's absolutely cracked.
What was it? Asobi Asobase? Oh man, I find it so dumb to like use anime to like compare anime to other anime all the time. But Asobi Aso, there we go. It's a slice of life anime about these three girls. Just but like it switches between them being super deranged.
But-
But like it comes across like the art style and everything seems super wholesome and super loving and all that kind of stuff. And then at some point every episode they just like it becomes super super deranged. So you can see here with the way it looks.
When I was watching the trailer for the deer anime we were talking about, it kind of gave me big like epic pop vibes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever watched Epic Pop.
No, I have not.
Do you know what I'm talking about though?
Epic pop. Is that a genre?
No, it's the name of the show. It was like these two girls. One is like really short, the other is super tall.
Yeah.
They drawn really like chibi kinda, and like every episode is like a different art style almost with them. It was like, and it's just like memes. Like the entire show is memes.
Epic pop. Okay, is that just also a music? That's a
Put
music
anime.
genre.
Oh, maybe am
Uh,
I remembering the name wrong?
Pop
Team Epic.
Pop Team Epic. Yes. I never watched it, but I do remember
It's
this.
the same energy as the trailer you just watched.
Right. Okay. Very cool. So yeah, actually, now that I didn't watch the trailer of the deer one, but I'm interested for sure. Just really unhinged comedy. But yeah, that kind of sums up the past season and the upcoming season. I don't know, anything we missed, anything you want to drop before we end off?
No. Let us know in the comments below what you're going to be watching from this upcoming season. What did you like from this past season? Anything that we missed out from this past season that maybe needed a bit more love? Because we can always do a retrospective and maybe talk about it depending on what the comments say. So get in the comments.
Anyways, my name is Bjorn.
I'm Ashav.
And thank you very much for watching. Please, if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, consider dropping a comment about how you feel about us, especially if you don't like Kushav.
Check out my YouTube channel.
Yes. What's it called? It's
Hex.
just Hex. Just
Yeah.
Hex. King
Is it-
Hex?
No.
Just
just
Hex. Okay.
Hexbro.
Hexbra. Been playing a lot
Do you
of
not have
Pokemon
this?
Vanguard.
You have me linked in the comments.
Yeah,
I've done the
he's-
comments in the description.
Description.
I'm
Otherwise,
downloading Elden Ring right now, so that's might be coming up soon.
then if you are listening on the audio platforms, please follow.
Why? Don't you want to see my beautiful face?
I put on makeup today and everything. But yeah, we really appreciate you listening or watching or
thanks
doing
for all
anything.
the support so far.
Yeah, we're going, living our lives. Now, I desperately need the bathroom,
Yeah,
so let's...
Road to 100 subscribers. We're nearly there.
What's the outro, Hushav? Please give us one.
Oh, it's a lot of pressure.
You always have one.
Hey, if you don't know, the Steam sale is on. Summer Steam sale is on right now. Go get a game.
I regret...
I was under pressure.
I regret tossing to you sometimes. Anyways.
Don't text minors. All right. Then.